I see so many listing presentations that are pure garbage, and then agents wonder why they don't win the listing. It's really not that hard to do a listing presentation that wins. So today, I'll tell you how to do that.
The Massive Agent Podcast, with lead generation tips and strategies to get you more leads and sell more homes.
I love to buy houses. I like to sell houses.
It takes brass balls to sell real estate.
Wait a minute.
The leads are weak. You're weak.
I've had better.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
Here's your host, Dustin Brohm.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 141 of the Massive Agent Podcast. Today, we're talking about listing presentations and a few key points that you really need to make sure your presentations have. If you can just get the concepts right that I'm going to talk to you about today, you're going to win more listings. And I see so many people, so many agents doing them wrong because you're focusing on the wrong shit. You're focusing on stuff the sellers don't care about. Okay, so we'll jump into that. Welcome to the show. If you are new to the show or have a horrible memory, either way, it's cool. Like, some people are new and have a horrible memory, and you won't even remember listening. Hopefully, we'll make it memorable. Anyhow, my name is Dustin Brohm, your host. I am an agent in Salt Lake City, Utah with eXp Realty. I'm the co-founder of the Industry Syndicate Real Estate Podcast Network. When we do have conferences, when they actually exist, I'm a national speaker on all things real estate, marketing, social media, podcasting, and lead generation, and the founder of the Massive Agent Society, our lead generation training and coaching program. And you can find out more at massiveagentsociety.com. What you need to know is we only accept one agent per market. So as long as there's an active agent in your market, unfortunately, you will not be able to join, but you can claim yours and be the only agent in your market. All you have to do is go to massiveagentsociety.com, click claim market, and you can see the map of what's available and sign up there. All right, listing presentations. When I first started in the business about 9.5 years ago now, almost 10 years, I'm like, oh, listing presentations. Okay, now I have to sit down with a seller and convince them why they want to hire me instead of Bill or Susie or Shannon or whoever comes next. And for me, it was really hard because I'm like, well, how the hell do I do that? I don't know what I'm talking about. The very first thing you need to do, okay, confidence is everything in a listing presentation. It's not everything. Confidence is huge, but you also have to speak the seller's language. You actually have to focus on what they care about. And I'll tell you what that is here in a second. I think we all know what it is, but it's amazing how many of us still don't make what the seller cares about the focus of our listing presentation. So we're going to do that. I got, when I was learning how to do listing presentations for the first time, I shadowed my mentor and went along, and I noticed he was using he had a listing presentation printed out in a folder, and he would just be flipping through the pages. And this was back in 2011, so I don't even think the iPad was out then. And so, but quickly, once I started to learn that it was his confidence and his knowledge of the market, or even his knowledge of the market that gave him confidence, that was really helping him win listings in some situations. And he was able to speak the language of the seller. Now it's 2020. We have all sorts of technology. I believe at a minimum, okay, you need to have your listing presentations on an iPad. If you show up with a printed listing presentation or one in a folder or something, and you're going to convince them that you're the best person to market their home in 2020 and beyond, seriously? Like, they're not going to buy that. Should they buy that? I mean, you're there to show them that you're the best person to get them the most money. That's all they care about. They don't give a shit about anything but how much are they going to walk away with after the sale. And how easy are you going to make this process on us? If you can show that you're going to make the process easy, show them what kind of work or stress you'll take off of their plate or off of their shoulders, and you can net them the most money and show them how you do that, show them exactly how you do that, you're going to win, as long as you do it with confidence. So if you're brand new, study the market, study the stats, study all the nerdy shit that's on your MLS and that your local board gives out. study all that stuff. Okay. You may never need it, but just knowing it's amazing what just knowing that you have the answer. If they start asking you technical market related questions, just knowing that is going to give you a huge confidence boost. A lot of times they don't even ask. I mean, I could probably count on one hand how many sellers, since, in the last almost 10 years have asked me about the absorption rate and months of inventory and stuff like that. Most of them don't know. They don't know to ask those questions. They don't really care. But if you know the answers to those, if you understand the concepts behind the stats, and you're not just spouting off a stat that they don't understand anyways, you're going to show up with a ton of confidence. Now, this is where you need to have your marketing plan, your system, if you will, dialed in. So you have your iPad. If you want to get a listing presentation from your brokerage, a lot of brokerages provide a PDF listing presentation or like a keynote or a PowerPoint that you can edit yourself and customize. That's what I did. It works. But you want to make sure that you switch out all the crap about the history of your company. Okay. I see so many of these company provided listing presentations that is so heavy on the company. Here's what we have: this many agents, and we've been in business for this long, or we have a red, white, and blue hot air balloon, or whatever, right? Well, the seller doesn't care about that. They don't care that Mr. Billy Remax back in 1953 founded the company with his last $50 that he had, or whatever. I'm completely making up a story here. I know Remax didn't start in 1953, but you get the point. They don't care. They don't care if you started it yourself or whatever, okay? They don't care. As long as there's some credibility there, but you bring the credibility. You bring it. It's amazing how often I speak to agents who want to leave their brokerage. Maybe they want to come join my team, or they just want to switch their brokerage in general. And they're like, well, but I don't know because so-and-so company isn't really well known in my market, or people don't know of it. And I'm like, cool. Like, most of my clients don't know who my brokerage is. They're hiring me. They're hiring my brand, Search Salt Lake, who's powered by eXp Realty. Like, they don't know who eXp Realty is. They don't care. Like, should they care? I'm compliant. I disclose it everywhere that I need to be compliant, but the clients don't care. Okay. Unless you're a luxury agent in certain markets where maybe the brokerage can bring you a certain level of credibility, or at least get you in the door, it doesn't matter. It's not nearly as important as you think. Maybe once over a 10-year period, I've had someone that's like, well, I really want to work with a Century 21 agent or a Coldwell agent or whatever. And I'm like, okay, you go do that then. Because if all they care about is the brand, then, well, they're probably not going to make the right choice of the individual to help them accomplish their goals. So anyhow, there's a nice long meandering squirrel moment, but I think it's important. Now I'm going to attempt to get back on track here with the listing presentation. So ultimately, don't make it about your company. I mean, maybe if you want to mention one little thing, like, we're the biggest brokerage in the state. We have, 2,500 agents. But you also need to tell them why that matters to them. What do they care how many agents you have? The reason that's important is because I have a large network of other agents who will now know about your listing. And one of them most definitely has a buyer for your property. Okay, that's how you make that important. If you're with like my brokerage, for example, I have a huge network of 33,000 agents around North America and the world who I can now leverage to see your property. Like the referral network that I have of out-of-town agents with out-of-town buyers is huge. It's 33,000 agents strong. Now, that is a truthful statement. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go blast every agent with my brokerage with the listing, but it's the network. Okay, the seller wants to know that that you know other agents, and it's funny. There's like this mythical thing, the out-of-town buyer, right? Like all these sellers are like, we need to find an out-of-town buyer. The thought or the thinking there is the out-of-town buyer is going to just overpay for their property, right? If the property is worth $300, an out-of-town buyer will pay $390. Okay, maybe they will. I don't know. But why would they pay more than they need to, right? They're not stupid. So, but remember, that's in the back of the minds of a lot of sellers. So if you say, hey, I have a very large referral network of other agents from all around the country and even the world, and I have relationships with them. And so we actually have a very, very large buyer database. And, sellers care about that stuff because, again, they care about how much money they're going to make. They care about getting the property sold. How much is it going to sell for? How fast are you going to do it? And how are you going to make it happen? So talking about how big your network is, even if maybe you are an admin of a Facebook group with 4,000 agents. Like, for example, when I started the Snap Pack Facebook, Facebook group, I talk about that. Like, I run a Facebook group of 4,000 agents from all around the country. I let them know that. That impresses the seller. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go post all my listings in the group, which, if you're a member of the group, that that's the quickest way to get your ass kicked out. And so we don't allow listings posted in there, but it's the relationships with other agents in there who know me as the Salt Lake agent. And, it impresses sellers. So talk about the network. If you are, whoever your brokerage is, if it's KW or, one of these larger ones, just like we have 160,000 agents around the world. And, I'm plugged into these very large Facebook groups and have a lot of relationships with agents here. Sellers like that, okay? Because it's you speaking to how one of the ways, or let me rephrase this. It speaks to, can you actually deliver on what you're promising? Okay? Just by saying, hey, I'll net you more money, they're thinking, okay, cool, can this agent deliver? If you start breaking down their objections or their concerns and say, hey, I'm a respectable agent. I have a large network of other agents. I have a buyer database. Talk about your database of buyers. If you have a CRM with a few thousand contacts in there, you may have a buyer for their home. Let them know that you have 3,000 buyers sitting in your database that you're going to notify about this new listing, right? You should be sending out your new listings to your database. So that's what I do. I've built up thousands and thousands of potential buyers just from the Facebook ads I've done over the years. If you guys are running ads, doesn't matter where the ads are, but you're filling up your pipeline with potential buyers, let the seller know that you have this pipeline of buyers. Let them know. Like if it's, you have 800 of them or 3,000 or whatever, tell the seller and then tell them, we actually, every time we get a new listing, we blast it out to all of these buyers. When you list your home with me, we will actually send it out to our entire buyer database of 3,000 people, whatever. That's attractive to them. I've actually lost out on listings before because I was not convincing enough to let the seller know that I may already have a buyer for the home. I've lost out numerous times to listing agents who were more convincing that they may already have a buyer. And as soon as I started focusing on how big my database is and how I'm going to let them know about the new listing, that is what really matters. Now, if you take it a step further and say, and we'll also target that group, that our buyer database, with Facebook ads, because we understand the Facebook pixel. We understand what's called retargeting. And remember, you have to explain concepts to them because they're not marketers. Most of them, they're not marketers. So here's what I like to do. And I show screenshots of Facebook ads in my listing presentation as I'm, flipping through the iPad presentation. I say, here's what we do. Because we're very savvy with Facebook advertising, have you ever gone to Amazon and looked at a certain product and then all of a sudden you start seeing that product in your Facebook newsfeed? Well, we can actually do that with your listing. Whenever somebody looks at your listing on our website, they'll actually start seeing it in their feed. Or those who are already in our buyer database, we can actually show your listing to just those people. And we're going to show it to those who are not in our database as well. So if you start to explain what can be done with your Facebook advertising knowledge, it's huge, absolutely huge. So you're not just saying, I'm going to net you the most money. You're showing them how you're going to deliver on it. That's a very, very big deal. It's not just about telling them, it's about showing them, can you deliver on it? If you can do these things and visually show each one of these things in your presentation with screenshots and even lay it out with bullet points, you're going to win so many more listings. Okay. If you have a website that gets, let's say, 10,000 visits a month, or maybe 4,000 visits a month, that's not an insignificant amount of traffic. Let them know, hey, we actually have one of the highest, one of the most visited websites, real estate websites in the city. So we'll actually put you there as a featured listing. That's something you get from us. And then talk about the things, if you include staging, if you include a professional cleaning or drone photography or drone video, all that stuff. Make sure that you mention what they're going to get included by working with you. Guys, as long as you can switch your whole approach to having confidence, but showing them how you're going to get them the most money and how you're going to accomplish it so that they actually believe you can, you're going to win a crap load more listings. Thank you guys for listening this week. We're going to wrap it up here, make it a little quicker episode. You guys probably noticed in the feed, we had the bonus episode that we dropped on Monday with Todd Duncan talking about his sales mastery event. Go listen to that. If you haven't listened to the bonus episode yet that came out just before this one, go do it. I've never done a bonus episode before. We've only had episodes every Thursday, but I'm a big believer in what Todd and his high trust company do. His sales mastery event is absolutely world class. I'm lucky enough to be part of it this year. It's September 16th through the 18th, and it's virtual because of stupid frickin' COVID. The stupid frickin' COVID that I'm so sick of, and I'm sure you guys are too. But it's virtual. What that means is it's so much cheaper. You don't have to travel. You don't have to do all the bullshit. It's just, for less than $300, you can attend the full conference virtually. You'll get the replay of it. I'm going to be on 2 different panels on Sales Mastery or at Sales Mastery, whatever you want to call it. Since it's virtual, I guess it's not at, it's in. Wow, this whole virtual thing's throwing me for a loop. But I'm going to be part of Sales Mastery. And I was actually in Atlanta a couple weeks ago doing some promotions, doing some planning and strategy with Todd, with the industry syndicate and all that. So I highly recommend you guys do that. Hopefully, even if you listen to the bonus episode, you at least picked up some tidbits that can help you. We're not going to be doing these bonus episodes a lot. I have no idea when or if I'll ever do another one, but I thought that was a good one to put out there and to let you guys know if you want to be a part of Sales Mastery or get a ticket, you can get it the cheapest. There's literally no discount better than the one you can get through the Industry Syndicate. Just go to industrysyndicate.com/salesmastery and find out all about it and grab your ticket. So go listen to the bonus episode. Thanks again, everybody. We're going to wrap it up here. I want you to focus on the listing presentation. If you got some ideas, if there's things that you're like, oh, I got to do that, or I'm going to go add this to mine, or I'm going to go tweak mine, do it now. I'm not going to go pontificate for another 30 minutes just to fill up time. Go get it done. Improve your listing presentation. Focus on what the seller actually cares about, and you're going to win a shitload more listings. Let me know how it goes. Let me know. I want to hear your success stories. DM me at Massive Agent on Instagram. Best of luck, guys. Go sell some homes.